Edward Abbey's novel, The Monkey Wrench Gang, is about four people who abandon their ordinary lives in favor of making a stance against industrialization, and in doing so, proves that when it comes to protecting the environment, violence, and more specifically destruction, is the answer. Before getting into the why of using violence, it is important to look at what the wilderness offers us, outside of the oxygen it supplies. Doctors used to prescribe getting out into nature to maintain the health of their patients. And even during the pandemic, it was commonly recommended for people to still go outdoors and take a walk. But in order to do this, nature must be there and must mostly be untouched by man, specifically the industrialization of man. To successfully keep these areas safe, some violence must be taken against those who would destroy it. Hayduke offers that it is their duty to destroy the machines, and that comes from the obligation to make sure that nature is still there for future generations to enjoy, and to ensure that life on the planet will continue. The duty to keep it like it was is what drives Hayduke to these extremes, and he is right in the sense that it is humankind's responsibility to keep nature protected from change that would harm or destroy it. It is humankind's duty to preserve the land so that nature can continue to offer a joyful and life-giving experience, and that is because it is each generation's job to preserve the land and ideally make it better for the next one. Letting mines and dams be built and having nature be destroyed in the process is also destroying the future of the human race at the worst, and at the best is taking away the sites and lands that offer the small joys that make life worthwhile. Abbey shows this by having Hayduke feel safer, better, and very much at home when he is back in Canyon Country, which shows how calming nature is and how humans can be at home when immersed in the environment. However, if all the wilderness area becomes commercialized and used for everyday traffic, there becomes no space for true wilderness. Without wilderness areas to take a break in from the stresses of everyday life, there is no point of relaxation to truly unwind. And then life becomes an unbearable cycle of working to stay alive without the benefit of beauty worth staying alive for. Now, the message of violence being the answer is especially potent in a novel that takes place in America. As a country, America was founded on violence, and according to Arthur Charpenter, the country has been at war 93% of the time, which roughly translates to 222 out of 239 years since its birth. Violence is in America's history and has been used to get things done since its founding in 1776. So what better way to get things done than by fighting those who are abusing their power and destroying what is natural and beautiful about the country? Additionally, Hayduke fought in the Vietnam War, and he views the war and the group's actions in the same way, which shows how fighting for and against the people in charge can either benefit or harm the person doing so. Hayduke has many traumas from his time in Vietnam, especially from when he was a prisoner of war. And a part of his healing process is done by taking his anger and aggression out on the machines that are destroying the land and home he was most looking forward to returning to. Furthermore, Abbey makes it clear that in order to preserve and protect the land, a person should destroy the machines that are doing the destruction, and in doing so, destroy the corporations behind the machines that would rather soak the money and beauty out of the land than preserve the natural goods that could come out of it. This point is shown throughout the novel, especially when Selden points out that the only folks who want this road are the mining companies and the oil companies and the people like Bishop Love and the highway department, which their religion is building roads. Nobody else ever heard of it. Which shows how the destruction of the environment is about earning money for corporations, and that other people will not be angered by the destruction stopping. In other words, the only people who will be mad, and probably even notice the destruction, are the people who stand to profit off of it. There is no value outside of money that these roads offer, and even then the money will only go to those who are not in need of extra income. In fact, as Abbey points out, the roads would be doing more harm than good, and by preventing them from being built, the group is stopping the senseless destruction of the land. Another way Abbey shows how violence is the answer is by personifying the machines into monsters and dinosaurs. By comparing the machines to monsters, Abbey is framing them as an enemy, which puts the group in the position of the hero whose job it is to destroy the monsters. It turns their actions into a job that anyone would do if an unbeatable beast was threatening their lives. In typical stories, the heroes defeat the monsters in the end, and everyone gets to live a long, peaceful life, which is almost what happens at the end of the novel. The characters don't have to face harsh punishments for their crimes, and are still able to continue their work, proving that they were right to destroy the machines. As for being compared to dinosaurs, the dinosaurs once ruled over the earth, much like these machines and corporations are doing now. And just like the dinosaurs went extinct, so will the machines and corporations become obsolete. They will be left to the history books. However, if something is not done to stop their destruction of nature, humans, like the dinosaurs and like the corporations, will also become extinct. On another note, dinosaurs are impressive beasts that would have towered over humanity, and the machines act in the same way. This comparison shows how seemingly impossible their foe is to beat. Yet time and time again, they are able to, because their end result is not for profit, but rather for protecting the land that is sacred to them. It is important to note that Abbey is not advocating for violence against other human individuals, as a common message throughout the novel is no violence against humans, because injuring other people would distract and take away from the message of destroying the machines, and it could also turn away people from protecting the environment. If the group were to start hurting people, they would be punished more severely, and what are careful, well-thought plans of destruction would turn into mindless fighting, and the purpose behind the fighting would be lost. The key to their success in each act of violence is how well thought out the plans are and how prepared they are if they run into trouble. Instead of actively trying to kill the people chasing them, they throw caltrops and shoot at their tires. This also allows for them to have more creative solutions on how to escape a situation, such as Hayduke's great escape by winching his jeep down a cliff, away from Bishop Love. And on that note, Bishop Love and Hayduke are the two characters Abbey uses to demonstrate why violence against machines are the answer, but not violence against people. Bishop Love fails in his mission in the novel because he wants to and actively seeks out violence against other people. When hunting the group, Bishop Love was enjoying himself, and he was looking forward to catching and torturing Hayduke. In the end, Bishop Love must be saved by two of the very people he wished to hurt, and becomes a new man, who can no longer be a member of the search and rescue team. His character and morals are the only ones who drastically change throughout the novel, because he is the one with a flawed viewpoint. Bishop Love craves violence and money, which allow him to miss the beauty of nature, and he is unable to appreciate the small joys in life that nature offers. This also stunts his ability to catch the group because of his lack of creativity and his lack of appreciation. While the bishop still wants power and money at the end of the novel, he no longer has the means to get that in the way he once did. Yet Hayduke, while still wanting to do violence, has never killed before, and is able to restrain himself against injuring people and stick to destroying the machines, and therefore is successful in his goals, and thus gets to keep his dream of destruction alive at the end of the novel. The other characters are strongly against using violence against other people, while Hayduke must wrestle with his desire to commit violent acts against others. He can do this successfully, though, because he is using violence to protect the environment, as well as deal with his aggression from the war. Therefore, his violence against the machines also works as an outlet, so that he does not hurt another human being. These two examples prove that limiting violence to acts of destruction against signs of industry and capitalism allows for the success in their goals, allows them to stay true to their ideals, and allows for healing to occur. Doc Sarvis repeatedly calls Hayduke a psychopath, and Hayduke needs an outlet for his anger, or he will be consumed by it. One example of this early in the novel is when Hayduke seeks to right an injustice with the police officer who arrested him, and he feels the satisfaction on destroying the symbol of his injustice. That satisfaction is enough to cool his anger and lets him move on with his life without harming another person. Hence, the way Edward Abbey's novel, The Monkey Wrench Gang, proves that when it comes to protecting the environment, violence is the best way to go about it. By showing the value of nature beyond the monetary value and how nature can be beneficial for humans to experience when left untouched by industry and commercialism, the novel advocates for the use of violence against machines, but not against humans, because that would muddle the message of destruction and turn the message from protecting the environment into mindless destruction without a goal in mind. Edward Abbey's novel